and welcome to another exciting edition of Mamdi's Lounge.
Mamdi's Lounge Season 2 is here, and it keeps getting bigger and better. Our conversations are spicy with guests that give in-depth insights to every topic. It's Mamdi's Lounge, your one-stop shop for great conversations.
We know that when there are crises, women are usually the first responders. They come to the community, they help out.
The bride price is not looked at as placing a value on the woman. It's looked as a commitment.
So I think it is something we should look at. It is endemic in our society. And for us to address it, it's going to take a national call.
Every Thursday, 8 p.m. on AYV TV, Channel 33.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Mamdi's Lounge. As always, Mamdi's Lounge comes to you on AYV Television. And of course, you know it's your one-stop shop for great conversations. And we want to say thank you to you, our numerous viewers, for your comments, your messages. We appreciate each and every one of them. Because you know why? It keeps us thinking and working hard to make the show bigger and better. So today in the lounge, we're coming to you from the prestigious Bamoy Hotel. And guess where we are at? At the Penthouse Suite. So today in the lounge, we'll be looking at social media. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's Mamdi's Lounge coming to you on AYV Television. My name is Mamdi Gobekamara. Stay tuned, we'll be right back after this break.
With MP, your safety comes first. In case of an emergency gas fire, from our gas cans, 1. Use your finger to block the knob opening of your gas can. 2. Use a wet cloth and put it over the flame and the knob. Or 3. Wrap the tank with the wet towel and the flames will go out. Take a rubber bucket and cover the tank. At MP, your safety is our paramount concern.
Na the EcoBank microfinance, we don't find easy way for you picking them better one to marabambai. We don't find way for put money inside you small business them, no matter how small the business be. EcoBank microfinance, they're also glad for make your business grow. In not Tapado, we ready for give you all the financial support for make you team up Tranga one. So now for come with we on this new journey, we say all you dream then will come true. So now for just come, now the EcoBank microfinance office, we say you go learn how for open up savings and current accounts for you picking them. Get money for you small business them and send money na 33 countries inside Africa and also open up savings and current account. Visit we now any of them branches soon. Begin and end your day with Gladdy EcoBank microfinance with the help you small business them for team up Tranga one.
The Asma James Foundation improves the lives of girls from marginalized backgrounds by giving them access to reproductive health education, scholarships, mentoring, and life skills training. We also use the media to advocate for policies that positively impact women and girls across Sierra Leone. Asma James Foundation, providing adolescent reproductive health education and services to girls in Sierra Leone.
Welcome back. This is Mamdi's Lounge coming to you on AYV Television. And in case you're just joining us, you're welcome to this very edition. Today we're coming to you from the Bamoy Hotel. And we're looking at a very interesting topic, social media. We want to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. So joining me today in the lounge to talk about this, I have Miata Adedoyin. Welcome to the lounge, Miata.
Thank you very much.
So Miata is using social media platforms to air her lifestyle show, Carmel and Butcher. And it's a brand new show.
It is.
Yes. And she's making very good use of social media to bring out contents of the particular show to you, the viewers. So she has been using it quite positively. Right, Mieta?
Yes, we're trying.
All right, welcome to the lounge. I also have Hannah Fuller, who is also my lounge member. Hannah?
Good to be back, viewers.
And I have Mohammed Shaif Bar. He is a digital innovation and social media enthusiast. Mohammed currently works for Online as the Director of Marketing and Digital Innovation, and he is the founder of TapTap, the first Uber-like ride-hailing app in Sierra Leone. Welcome to the program, Mohammed.
Thank you very much.
And I also have with me Abdullah Jallo. Abdullah, this is your second time, right?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the lounge.
Thank you, Mamdi.
All right, today we're talking about social media. Guys, so I'll just throw the question to everyone. Your take on social media. I'll start with you, Meta.
Okay, great. With everything that we try to promote globally, we've noticed that social media is the strongest platform that anyone could use. However, like you rightly pointed in the terms of doing it in a positive manner, what may be positive to one individual might not necessarily be positive to another.
Absolutely.
Then you also have to realize that with social media, it's so global that things are perceived differently across the continent. So, for instance, with what we do, we decided that we had to have our own voice, and the only way we thought we could be able to do that was to bypass all the norms of the traditional media, so TV, radio, etc. And so we decided, okay, so there's Facebook, there's YouTube, there's Instagram. But then in doing that as well, you also need to be mindful of working along the guidelines of those different platforms. And then you also have a case where you're also showcasing brands. So as an organization as well, you need to make sure that you identify with brands that would also create a positive image. So you have like different people, say for instance, I'm going to use Bob Risky as an example, the Nigerian social influencer who he has a huge following, but then he has a huge following based on what he thinks is a positive angle in what he's bringing. But then you have people, maybe people within like a religious sect who would think that that's blasphemous. But then because it's so controversial, it's creating that following that he demands, and that's giving him a lot of credibility on a global platform. With us as well, as Carmel and Butcher, we try to identify with individuals, especially in Sierra Leone, Nigeria, and also looking at Ireland, that have a lot in common with Sierra Leone as a country, and that's like going back to 50, 40 years ago. And we're thinking that in doing that, as opposed to promoting all the positives, there will be times where we'll promote a lot of things that are negative. I mean, a while ago, we did a show on a young girl that had cancer. I think that was about 3 weeks ago, our second show. And even though it was good to some of the reviews that we got, some people said they couldn't watch it. One, because it was too emotional, it had to do with a child. But then we felt that it's a message we wanted to send out there. So, you could have some people that, they use the social media platform for different
reasons.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'll stop you there, Mate. I'll come back to you with some more questions, but I'll come to you, Mohammed.
Right, thank you very much. And I think social media is quite an interesting technology. It's the question whether it's a blessing or a curse, it's hard to respond to. It's a change that has to inform our practices, our opinions. At Online, we do use social media a lot, and we rarely do any marketing on traditional media, and this is very deliberate because most of our target audiences, we are trying to reach them using social media platforms. And it has to do with the budget as well. If you have a very small budget, you want to rely on social media marketing, because with social media marketing, you would target a specific audience with a very small amount of money, and then you are able to measure both the marketing and reach and the return on investment. The question on best practice, it varies country by country, business by business. But in Sierra Leone, I think it's quite interesting. We see how social media informed the election activities to a very large extent. In fact, I wrote a couple of articles on political marketing, and that would be very interesting. But if you're doing a business and then you want to reach a large number of people living in a different part of the country or different part of the world, then I think social media is great. And I would recommend that people understand the channels to use, because social media is quite broad. Which channel is ideal for which target audience? That would be something to discuss.
I'd like to just come in there, Shay. What you just mentioned about it being targeted, you can actually reach out to a specific audience,
right.
As opposed to the traditional media.
Right.
Now, the issue here is the mindset of people. And I think even the businesses need to get to that point where they realize that this is the way it's going.
Right.
You know, and not everybody is on the same page when it comes to that. My institution that I work for recently had an upgrade. Interesting to note that we did not do any form of advertising using traditional media.
Right.
Everything was targeted. We were reaching out to our customers, so we use social media, different forms of different platforms, you know, and things are changing. And I'm not sure there, Mamdi, if people, how much Sierra Leoneans have caught up with the moving train of social media.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have.
In a way, yes. I think so.
They have style, especially when it comes to WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I mean, because you could see that, you know, information goes viral in a split second.
Yeah.
True.
You make one little slip up and it's out there.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, look at what's happening recently with the floods.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody can see real time what's happening in Tombo, what's happening in different parts of, you know, the country.
You know, interestingly, well, I think though that the traditional media, I'm not sure, has been able to deal with this competitor. Because they still, you know, when I sent a WhatsApp e-flyer to somebody on the changes going on in our institution, he was like, he owns a newspaper, and he said, can you advertise with us? I said, well, not this time, maybe next time. So I'm not sure traditional media actually knows how to
manage it,
to play with this competitor.
All right, so
I'll comment on 3 things. That's very interesting.
Okay, so before you come in, let me just hear from Abdullah. Yeah.
Well, I think this is a very important topic. For me, social media is the phenomenon of the 21st century. Right. Because come to think about it, Mark Zuckerberg is the 4th richest man in the world, and is the founder of Facebook.
And now owns Instagram.
Yes, and
exactly.
also WhatsApp.
And WhatsApp,
Yes. So could you imagine that someone just establishing a social media platform to be among the top 5 richest people in the world?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm looking at it from that point of view. I'm also looking at someone using social media to become a billionaire overnight. Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
She is the youngest billionaire by just posting her pictures on Instagram. She owns a cosmetic line. So she is harnessing the benefits of social media to become a billionaire. But in Sierra Leone, as opposed to other countries like in UK, you see the traditional print media, they have shifted from print media like Mirror, Daily Mail, Mirror, The Sun, those big newspapers, they are now more into online. While in Sierra Leone, our major newspapers like Awoko, Standard Times, they're still...
No, but they are
still
online as well.
They are online.
Yeah.
They are predominant.
But then, for instance, for our business, because I have other businesses that I manage, whenever we do any form of a press release, etc., I always say to them is, I want to see the online, you know, publication.
Right. Okay.
Because I know that particular piece of publication is what's going to make this go viral. So if anybody even Googles the company name, that pops up. So I think it's a case of maybe individuals and businesses insisting on that as well. Because once you do, they now start thinking, okay, actually this does make sense, and this is actually pushing our, you know, media house, the brand of our media house as well. You know, so I think some of them are catching on. I mean, AYV has, they've got TV, they've got radio, they've also got online.
So
I will call that. So
it's still a small number. And apart from that, it's still a small number compared to, you know, but we still do have newspapers with online presence, like Meta mentioned, you know.
So I'm also looking at the other side of social media, and you can notice it in Sierra Leone, and especially the widely used social media platform is WhatsApp. And someone can use social media to present a story that is absolutely fake, and it can easily go just like that. And by the time you imagine, everyone is aware that this is the case, except you have to go and maybe try to pick up. Is this true? Is this correct? You need to call. So now we have some few reliable people You have to go to their wall, their Facebook page, to check if this information
but
is
I know
correct.
the same is happening everywhere.
So it can also be
I think
used.
it's a global problem.
Yes, it can also be used.
Can you imagine a Rwanda genocide taking place maybe when WhatsApp was?
No. I don't want to imagine. So I think
No,
the
but
issue
then
about
that tells us that this is a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
it is.
It also keeps people in check, I think.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
me, regards fake news, I think this is a global problem, and you all would agree this has really affected the Facebook value.
Right.
It's shrinking by the day, and I think even yesterday, Facebook has been kind of challenged by lots of institutions with regard their responsibility to control fake news. But that's quite a complex thing. Now, I wanted to comment on the two of the very first comment on about how traditional media is leveraging the internet. I feel in as much as they're doing, but I think they could have done a lot. I mean, we have like 470,000 Facebook users and about 400,000 WhatsApp. That's a big audience. Yeah. But having an online presence is different from building an online audience. They might have an online presence, but they do not build an online audience. So I'll challenge all of them, apart from AYV with a decent followership on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. How many of them do have a Facebook page? How many of them do have an active Twitter handle? Very few. And you have to have those channels. Build an audience. Remember, I'm not following you on the website as I can follow you on Facebook. And if you want me to follow you on Facebook, you should have a hook. Give me a reason to follow you. I was mentoring a kid yesterday who is into photography and modeling. I told her you could venture into what is called Instagram selling. It's a popular phenomenon in the UK. People make millions of pounds from that. Build an audience, build a niche. Give me a reason to come to your platform. If you give me as a consumer a reason to come to your platform, a brand will hire you to advertise their So I believe businesses, big or small, new or old, you have to leverage social media and then try to exploit the potential.
Interesting point of view. We'll come back. This is Mamdi's Lounge. I know you guys are having fun with all of what's been going on here, but we need to go for a quick break and come back and continue with the conversation. We'll be right back.
With MP, your safety comes first. In case of an emergency gas fire from our gas cans, 1. Use your finger to block the knob opening of your gas can. 2. Use a wet cloth and put it over the flame and the knob. Or 3. Wrap the tank with the wet towel and the flames will go out. Take a rubber bucket and cover the tank. At MP, your safety is our paramount concern.
Na the EcoBank microfinance, we don't find easy way for you picking them better one to Marabambai. We don't find way for put money inside you small business them, no matter how small the business be. EcoBank microfinance, they're also glad for make your business grow. In not though, we ready for give you all the financial support for make you team up Tranga one. So now for come with we on this new journey, we say all your dream then will come true. So now for just come, now the EcoBank microfinance office, we say you go learn how for open up savings and current accounts for you picking them. Get money for your small business them and send money na 33 countries inside Africa and also open up savings and current account. Visit we now any of them branches soon. Begin and end your day with Glady EcoBank microfinance with the help you small business them for team up Tranga one.
Quality electrical products now in Sierra Leone. Looking for cables? Ask for Havels. Havels cables don't catch fire. Looking for lights? Ask for Havels. Havels lights come with 1-year warranty. Havels products available in all stores nationwide. Or ask at Insons, 52 Shaka Stevens Street, Freetown. Or online at www.insons.net.
The Asma James Foundation improves the lives of girls from marginalized backgrounds by giving them access to reproductive health education, scholarships, mentoring, and life skills training. We also use the media to advocate for policies that positively impact women and girls across Sierra Leone. Asma James Foundation, providing adolescent reproductive health education and services to girls in Sierra Leone.
Welcome back to Mamdi's Lounge. Today we are coming to you from the Hotel Bamoy, an indigenous hotel owned by a Sierra Leonean, and we're actually in the penthouse suite. Today we're talking about social media. Yes, social media. And I have Miata Adedoyin. She is the executive producer of a brand new TV show that runs online, Carmel and Bocha. I also have Mohammed Sharif Bar. Mohammed is the founder of TapTap, the first Uber hailing app in Sierra Leone.
Right.
And I also have Ablai Jallo. In addition to Hannah Fuller, my regular lounge member. We're here today, we're talking about social media, the good, the bad, the ugly. Now, we've said a lot of positive things about social media. We all agree it's a great platform. You know, if we use it well, it will bring in a lot of benefit to us as individuals, you know, family and country. So that's the good. Now let's look at the bad. Because in Sierra Leone, I know that there are people who are really misusing this all-important platform. I mean, WhatsApp, be it Facebook, Twitter, whatever. You know, so we need to also bring out some of these ills so that people understand. Because most of the time, people do things without even knowing that what I'm doing is wrong. So we created this platform to be able to speak to some of these issues, just bring out some of the ills, the rights and the wrongs, so that people will understand that, okay, what I was doing, maybe if you did not know before now, you will know that, okay, so what I used to do was wrong. Now I need to readjust the way I do things, or probably the way I speak or do, you know. So Hannah, Miata, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk. You know, let's look at the downside of this.
For me, I would say that because of the power of social media, and everybody who uses social media understands that social media gives you a lot of power. As before, it was the reserve of the traditional journalist. Now we have the citizen journalist. And this is something that even the traditional media people are not very happy about. And always want to challenge the citizen journalist. But then it gives you a different angle, a different perspective and all of that. But then the power of social media is that there is, you know, when you go to a newsroom, you have to go through the process of compiling the news and doing the editing. But this has immediacy, you know, so in real time, it doesn't have borders. You don't have to, I mean, in 5 minutes, my message could get to Australia, go to China, go to America without...
And which is why it is very important for people to pay attention. Exactly.
I mean, I remember when CNN... I forgot what it's called, but CNN had this part of their program where they'll actually ask you to post videos of disasters or anything happening wherever you are. They'll obviously vet it, and that gives them news. But now people don't need to post to CNN anymore. We've got different channels in which we can upload. When we were interviewing for interns for Carmel and Butcher, one thing I kept asking all of them, and a few of them got the reason why I was asking that. I'll ask for your social media handle. I'll ask for your Facebook handle, your Instagram handle.
Exactly.
And what we'll do is, for those that we shortlisted, we actually went and did research. Because we had to ensure that our brand, whatever it was we were associating with, was clean, there was no taint. And then one of the ladies that we didn't take on actually posted saying, you know, girls, please be careful what you put out there, that I went for an interview and this is what I was asked. Once something goes viral or online, it is there for posterity.
Yeah.
And
you cannot change it.
What they don't understand is that, for example, the American embassy, now you go for an interview, yes, they will ask you, do you have a social media presence or whatever account? And they will check on you because they want to know, in the age we live in of terrorism and all sorts of things, you want to know who you're letting into your country. So they're checking now. And people do not realize that. And as Miata is saying, some employers now do go the extra mile to even check what you're like.
Yeah,
you know,
from a social aspect.
From that perspective. And I will give an example. A few years ago, we had an incident, an ugly incident during the month of Ramadan. The two young ladies, one in Sierra Leone, one in the UK. The one in the UK did a collage of this young lady, put a dog by her face and said she looks like this dog. Now the one in Freetown decided to retaliate. What did she do? She went to town and did the ugliest thing I've ever seen. In the month of Ramadan, irrespective of, people at that particular time, taking into consideration that there were people fasting, she now posted the private parts of this other young lady on Facebook. And I'm telling you, it was, when I say it just was out there.
And now it's out there, so even if they take it off the wall,
But that happens a lot around here, Mieta.
I mean, and everything. We called personally, I was so disgusted, and I don't like to feel helpless, so I called her up. I didn't know her at all. Reached out to her on Facebook and said, I'd like to meet you. Just to understand why she did that. And we had to sit down with her, let her understand that, apart from yourself, it's a matter of self-respect. But it's an insult to every other woman all over the world. It's about your family, too. And, this person posted a picture of a dog against your face. You don't look like a dog, but she's saying that you insulted you and all of that. But did you have to go this far to show that you could get back at her?
Debase yourself.
And that sort of thing. And then there was issues of, we're going to take action against her. But then can you imagine the impact? Now let's say she goes for a job somewhere, this shows up. And it's paid her. So it's like the power, we can do anything with it, but then we need to understand that we need to also measure and balance.
You see, one key challenge with social media is the fact that it is not controlled. So insofar as you have a mobile phone, you are into social media. And you see, you have people who use this particular tool to move on their own personal agendas. To them, they have their own agenda. So let me just bring an instance wherein there's an election. Political parties will definitely have people who will create news, post it in WhatsApp groups, send it into different platforms, and then the news is all over. So for me, that is one of the key weaknesses of social media, because it lacks control. And insofar as someone has that ability to share it around, it is difficult. And if you meet someone, or if you are in a group wherein they don't filter the content of that particular group, every information goes to that particular group. I'm lucky to be part of some groups that they have some key criteria laid down, that these are the rules that you have to follow. But in Sierra Leone currently, you have more than 1 million journalists, like you said. Everyone can create story, whether true or false. And at the end of the day, there are people who do not go the extra mile to cross-check whether this particular story is true or false. So sometimes you just hear that, 10 people were killed in Kono. But if you call there, maybe there is only one person.
That is very interesting. I was in Kenema, I think about 3 weeks ago, when there was a report, as reported on social media, there was a riot. And I was driving around with my cousin, and then he received the call, hey, you say you did Kenema, and then say something that happened. I said, say then say something that happened. I'm right here right now. So I was like, how could this possible? So that's a serious thing. I remember we wrote a document a few years ago, about 2 years ago, we presented that document to one government office, proposing that we should embark as a country, we should embark on social media education. Now, as a country, we are not prepared to control social media. Policy-wise, we are far back. Technical-wise, we are far back. But those two things we can borrow easily. But infrastructure-wise, we are way far. And it takes lots of investment to establish that infrastructure to control social media. Well, to regulate social media. I don't want to use the word control. But the best we can do as a country it's for a platform like this. I'm really grateful we have a platform.
Yeah.
So we can educate people that
Yeah.
this is the best way to use social media. Most times I refrain from discussing the bad side of social media because I see myself as a social media professional, so I only want to discuss the best ways you can use social media. And I largely agree with my brother. Some of these groups you don't want to be part of.
Absolutely.
And, hiring now, your social media presence is a key part of your recruitment success.
So you were to use social media quickly, sir. Sorry to jump in. Because you have people who are really abusing the use of social media. So I mean, nowadays people already hire for jobs, for example, or probably for interviews. Then they go on social media for check. Your activity and what you do post online. Right. Social media, what you do use social media for. So if you're out there and you're one of those people who are really, you've made up your mind that you're going to use that platform for things that are not useful, then your disadvantage that you don't create for yourself.
Problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Trying to say, sorry, about the policing, social media, controlling or regulating. Uganda is a country to watch. They have imposed introduced taxes. Yeah, so that's interesting. And then I think you're paying more in terms of
based on the number of channels.
Yes.
And I would recommend, in fact, probably there should be a topic wherein we should discuss the monetization of social media.
Yeah.
That should be a different topic.
So
I think the government, as a government, we are missing out a lot on how to regulate and monetize these platforms. But let that be another conversation.
Definitely. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, but then again, when we have that conversation, my problem would be, the fact that it's so much cheaper is what makes it much.
So let's hold on. We'll talk about.
And when you are paying for it, you become responsible.
That's the thing.
When you pay for it,
you become more
responsible.
Exactly.
We do not want to police the using of social media like China, but we want to kind of insist some amount of responsibility.
Absolutely.
If I am free to do anything, I tend to be very careless about it.
Yes.
But if I'm paying, because when you pay, that means you have been tracked. That's the goal about paying.
But look at what happens most times on WhatsApp. People just send you stuff. Things that has nothing to do with you. You are not. People just
they
send.
Can actually destroy families, families by just
posting irresponsible
something about someone, you're a serial womanizer or something, and nobody can challenge you.
And all this is because of the lack of education. I remember 5-7 years ago what I was posting. I don't post that anymore. If you go to my Facebook wall now, every post is either information or education. So I rarely post just because I want to post.
So and you know what led to that? Because you have the awareness.
The transformation.
You have the awareness.
The transformation.
Right. The way I use social media, it can increase my presence or it can actually create a particular thing that will affect my career. Being that you are a social media professional. For me, I also think, in line with what you're saying, I also think that I'm also happy that this particular topic came up, because at the end of the day, I think government should actually look at social media from various points of view and establish a framework. And that particular framework will have within it the issue of how we monetize it. Because if we have a general framework, for instance, Shaif mentioned something which is absolutely on point. There is lack of awareness regarding the benefits, the costs, the disadvantages of social media. And we have senior people, senior institutions that don't have a policy or a code of social media.
Absolutely.
And I think if that framework is developed, it will definitely improve the way we
start at the top and it trickles down.
So I think, like Hannah's institution and most of the institutions I've worked for, when you join them, especially if you're in the brands and comms team, the marketing communications team, they'll tell you this is a brand guideline. Post this, don't post this. Because there is something they call sentiment on social media. It could be negative sentiment or positive sentiment. And a small business like hers, she might not have the money to invest in doing sentiment tracking, sentiment analysis. So if you do not have that money, and then you have people that do not understand what are your core values, what's your company philosophy, then you end up generating lots of negative sentiment that could kill your brand. And then we see how brands die. I told politicians that as a politician, your personality is your brand.
Yeah.
So you be careful what you do on social media and how people promote you. Sometimes we'll think we're promoting Mr. X, but we're actually hurting him or her because of the content we are putting out.
Interesting.
But we have not answered the question.
So we'll come to answer the question
about making money.
Yes, we'll come back and continue this very interesting conversation. This is Mamdi's Lounge. We're coming to you from AYV Television, actually at Hotel Mamoy. Oh, this program is also sponsored by Africell. Let's don't forget that. Africell is actually part of making this happen. So we want to say, well done. But we'll come back after this break.
With MP, your safety comes first. In case of an emergency gas fire from our gas cans, 1. Use your finger to block the knob opening of your gas can. 2. Use a wet cloth and put it over the flame and the knob. Or 3. Wrap the tank with the wet towel and the flames will go out. Take a rubber bucket and cover the tank. At MP, your safety is our paramount concern.
Na the EcoBank microfinance, we don't find easy way for you picking them better one to marabambai. We don't find way for put money inside you small business them, no matter how small the business be. EcoBank microfinance, they're also glad for make your business grow. In not happening, we ready for give you all the financial support for make you team up Tranga one. So now for come with we on this new journey, we say all you dream then will come true. So now for just come, now the EcoBank microfinance office, we say you go learn how for open up savings and current accounts for you picking them. Get money for you small business them and send money na 33 countries inside Africa and also open up savings and current account. Visit we now any of them branches soon. Begin and end your day with gladdy. EcoBank microfinance with the help you small business them for team up Tranga one.
Quality electrical products now in Sierra Leone. Looking for cables? Ask for Havels. Havels cables don't catch fire. Looking for lights? Ask for Havels. Havels lights come with 1-year warranty. Havels products available in all stores nationwide. Or ask at Insons, 52 Shaka Stevens Street, Freetown. Or online at www.insons.net.
The Asma James Foundation improves the lives of girls from marginalized backgrounds by giving them access to reproductive health education, scholarships, mentoring, and life skills training. We also use the media to advocate for policies that positively impact women and girls across Sierra Leone. Asma James Foundation, providing adolescent reproductive health education and services to girls in Sierra Leone.
Hello, welcome back to Mamdi's Lounge. Today we're talking about social media, and in the lounge to help us, discuss this all-important topic, we have Miata Adidoi. Miata is the executive producer for Camel and Butcher. Miata, I really like the name of that. We'll talk about.
I want to know what Camel. Why
Camel and Butcher? Yes, and she's using social media positively. She brings out contents on TV via social media.
She's broken the norm. By not using traditional media.
I know, right? And then we have also Mohammed Sharif Ba. Mohammed is a founder of TapTap.
Correct.
I like the sound of that. TapTap.
It's lovely. It's not just the sound, the branding, the technology, the solution. The problem it's fixing. Let me tell you something. Probably you know about that. The government just ended a 3-day
quickly,
hackathon.
Before you come in, TapTap is the first Uber-like hailing app in Sierra Leone.
That's correct.
And this is the founder, Mohammed here.
We're honored to have you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I was saying that the government just concluded a 3-day hackathon in partnership with Sense Tech Hub, and they are objective was to look for ideas that would help salvage urban mobility. And that is the answer. So I am hoping government officials would be looking at this show, and they should talk to us. And the product is there, it's live, it's ready. And my team is quite ambitious to see how we could contribute in making sure that mobility in Phaeton becomes way more easier and comfortable and safe. Safety is very an important thing for us. Now, as a business, I have my full-time job. That means I'm really, really busy. And as a startup, we do not have money at all. So we can't advertise on radio or TV or newspaper. We are relying on social media. So what I do, or what we did, is that we contracted a few influencers, people with large social media followers, especially on Instagram. Now, people tend to misuse what they call stories. I was talking to someone, don't have more than 3 photos on these stories. If you do more than 3, I don't want to see it. It's boring to me. I have only 15 seconds to view your photos. So we recruited this lady, and I told her, you're going to put these photos on your status, and don't do more than 3 at a time. In fact, I was releasing only 3 at a time. So she did what we call the teaser, the pilot, or the soft launch. And what happened is, so everyone was like, where is this product? Where is this service? Just one person. So imagine if I had contracted 10 influencers. That would probably triple the effect. So social media is very powerful. So with very little money, I was able to generate 300 registrations just from WhatsApp status photo. Facebook, we posted a few because the traction on Facebook is a bit delayed than WhatsApp. WhatsApp, if I'm immediate. It's very immediate. And some of these people, they've got like hundreds of groups. Like my brother was mentioning, he's part of groups. And most of these ladies, because they are still active in school, they would have a group for every course or for every study unit. And that means that's those numbers are important for us as businesses and marketers. So when you post something, all of them see it just like that.
Now,
you send me screenshots.
Let me just cut you there. Can you imagine now, had you taken that ad that you had and put it in a newspaper?
1,500,000 leons. And you know what happens? Probably one person is buying that paper and they're reading just the news, the hard news, not the soft news, not advertising. But I'm not going to say how much I paid. I'll leave that. Because you may want to ask, who's that influencer, and you want to contract that. But trust me, had I used traditional media, I would have paid nothing less than 5 million. And I couldn't track the conversion, but here I can track the conversion. I know how many people saw my ad, what people did on my ad. I can track the conversion, which is very important.
I think that's a very key information. Because in social media, just like what you said, you can easily use that particular information to increase your presence, to determine, to forecast in terms of how are you going to market future products.
Absolutely.
But you mentioned in your opening statement that you are the founder of Tata, which is like Uber, to support urban mobility.
Correct.
I have been to several countries in Africa, and in Ghana and Nigeria and Kenya, you find Uber as a convenience. You find it as a convenience, which is absolutely lacking in Sierra Leone. If you want to move around, you have to stand for a very long time. Sometimes maybe you have a car and your car is in the garage. You need Uber. You can easily go to
I think you are reading my pitch deck, because that's exactly what we're trying to solve.
So at some point in time, and I was undertaking a particular course in Ghana, and the driver that was allocated to me was having some issues. I just go on to Uber, locate a driver within 5 minutes. I was able to move from the training center to my hotel. So it's very, very simple.
I'll tell you something in 2 sentences.
So congratulations for that.
Thank you very much. I'll tell you something in 2 sentences. Currently, mobility is completely human dependent. Hailing is done by hand. Whether it's raining or under the sun, you have to go to the junction and then you hail, which is a life risk. Because we see instances where people have been robbed while they're waiting for public transport. And then tap is the answer. You know why? Sit in your office, in your room, wherever you are,
send you the invoice.
with a tap, and then
we'll send you the invoice. We'll send you an invoice.
Short advert.
We'll send you an invoice.
Just like that.
Let's hear from Yata. Yes.
I think we're all saying the same thing. Everyone knows the uses of social media, and in terms of generating a return on investment, which yes, the investment is minimal. But then for us as a show as well, we need to obviously pay for the production team, etc. There are a few overheads as well. You know, you've got a team of staff or interns that you also have to cover. So right now, at the moment, all what we're doing is out of pocket. What we're waiting for is we need to build our numbers. But even in building the numbers, we have to be careful. So for instance, for us to even look for influencers, I'm very big on ensuring that I keep my brand identity in a certain, vein. So because of that, I'm very careful when, we do, whoever it is we employ, the people that we work with, even my production team, they have to be of a certain standard when it comes to their work ethics and all of that. And even if they aren't, I'm happy to mentor and make sure that they get to that level. I'm also keen on helping those that I think are growing. So for instance, the lady that does the makeup, she's starting off, so I'm happy to give, them a leg up. And back to, monetizing this is what we're thinking is that we need to obviously grow the numbers, but in growing the numbers, we have to be very careful who we get to associate with or be an influencer in pushing the brand.
That's very important.
And also, despite the fact that we're covering a lot of content for Sierra Leone and Nigeria and later Ireland, we are trying to ensure that anyone that we get on board as a sponsor is someone that also has a presence in all of these countries, so that we're now having more of a global advertising, so to speak. So that's our, long-term aim. So I'm taking my time.
Yes, and I like it. Can I intern with you to help build the audience and engage with them? I really like. Her concept is very, very great. I would love to
what
see.
I like about both of you is that you're coming in with something
fresh. Definitely.
And, it's very good. It makes me feel happy, because this is what is happening in other African countries, Rwanda, the Kenya, Ghana, and it's high time Sierra Leone catches up. So
creating employment, for yourselves and other people, because this is a country where people, sit back and wait. Everything should be done for them by government. So, I mean, you guys, are taking these bold steps. I think it is worth commending. Helping people, because we try to do that a lot out here. But again, when you talk to young people, I was at a forum yesterday, and all you could hear from these young people, oh, we don't have jobs, we've been to college, we've been to school, nobody, but these are ideas that they can pick up from. This is they're educated and all of that, so they have what it takes, right, to just take the first step.
I mean, in Nigeria, there's a lady that I knew who she used to be a flight attendant on private jets. But then, because of the risk of travel, she decided to stop. And then she was looking for a job, and she couldn't get a job. She just took her car and then decided to, I'm just going to register with Uber. And that's what she did. And then a lot of, whilst I'm in Nigeria and I'm moving around, a lot of the drivers that I talk to ask, do you own these cars? And they say no. So what they do is they go to someone that they know has a little bit of money. And they say, let's work out a plan where that car can become mine after I pay you a certain amount after a while, and that car is registered on Uber. Now in Nigeria, you've got Uber, you've got Taxify. So what they do is they register on both. So they switch on the app to whichever.
And that's exactly the model we are adopting. In fact, I think what we would want the government to do part of the youth employment scheme is they've got lots of graduates there now, and they want to find employment for them. The reason why youth cannot venture into public transportation is because it lacks that kind of respect, and I think our service bring that kind of value into it. So imagine if government can say now.
So that is a problem right there. When people look at
respect, I think comes from within.
We added that value.
Right, you don't need anyone to tell you.
That's it.
I mean, look at this girl. She was this glamorous girl. You see her post on Instagram.
But
and then now she's driving an Uber.
So that's
and there's several young girls doing that. They're out of college. They don't have jobs.
But you have to.
So you bring that respect.
You have to bring the brand value. That's it. Drives that respect.
Professional.
The brand value. I would think so.
When I was younger, I'll drive a keke. If I didn't have a job, I'll go and drive a keke. And it's when I'm in there, it's how they feel. Am I going to have Wi-Fi?
Let me tell you, so
am I going to hand you water?
It's a mindset issue.
Indeed, which you have to change.
Which you have to change.
So you have to build some brand value that would attract these people that are not interested in that particular
for me, I'm happy with platforms like what Mamdi has as well, because it brings these conversations up. And whoever is listening out there, it's good that they learn that, okay, actually they're doing these things in other countries, so why can't I do it? I mean, and not think about who's going to laugh at me, or my friends think I'm a slave queen, so therefore, you know.
So you know, in other places you have people with, you know, car centers, car wash. They do it with style, and people go there and pay. But here we always
want to be given
everybody
everything.
wants to, you know, have white collar jobs. Everybody wants to have a car. You know, everybody wants to do this, and you cannot.
You cannot.
Things like this don't happen overnight.
Like Mamadi, what you were saying, like me, I have experienced it. I've been to counties where I've seen young people come up with ideas that are very, very new, and they have passion for those ideas, and they are not looking for the immediate benefit from that.
Long term.
So, like you, I've met with so many Uber drivers who are graduates in Ghana.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think, for me, I don't think like you driving an Uber is something that is kind of
It's demeaning. No, it's not.
No, but like you mentioned initially, I think this is something that we should push. In Sierra Leone, I have that belief, I have that conviction that we have a lot of good people, talented people. All we need is that open space for people to understand that what you believe in, just move out with it. You will definitely succeed.
But I think we also need to come out of some, you know, like out of the box, because I think people always, so you know what people don't understand, especially our young people.
You know, people like me do that kind of job.
So that's the thing, that's the problem right there.
And even the entrepreneurs, I mean, because I'm an entrepreneur, I meet with a lot of people, I've got a lot of mentees. I think one of the biggest issues that is stopping them, the bottleneck that is stopping them from connecting the dots, it's the fire in them. They've got like cool ideas, they've got the passion, but they tend to give up quickly because of the market challenges. If I tell you what I go through or what I'm still going through as an entrepreneur, you'll think I'm a Superman. I'm not a Superman, but I'm looking at the end goal, the prize.
That's it. So
and my end goal is like I should fix the problem.
So these are the things.
But you see, there's also another problem. Mamadi, there's also another problem. You have sound people who have wonderful ideas at college, but the moment they are off, they want office jobs.
That's the thing.
They want office jobs.
Everybody wants a white
So
collar
how
job.
can we improve in terms of creating new ideas, improve the county in terms
And
of
like
the things that
I was
we
talking
do?
to Hannah just now, and she was saying something about people copying as well. You know, there's this new trend now. Everyone has a kitchen. Do you understand? And so you see all these flyers and everything coming up. Everybody has some kitchen that they're opening, and everybody's doing the same thing.
Kitchen and
so it's
photography.
fine. Yeah, it's fine. Have a kitchen, but come out with something different. And that's what, you know, it'd be lovely if someone could just think about it and think, okay.
And that's where some few people stand out. There's this Sierra Leonean young lady who's in Ghana. She has the Fulani kitchen. She calls it
so that's different.
And they do traditional Fulani food served on a mat and things like that. The way she does it, it's like an experience.
That's their point
so
of
it's not just about food.
differentiation.
It's not just about food, it's about
I mean, look at what you're thinking. You're not just thinking the normal traditional vehicles. You're thinking keke.
So you know how this? Sorry to cut you off. So Mamdi's Lounge, you know, the whole idea came from just dealing with people, my interactions, you know, with people. Like you go to the bank, the way people behave, you go, just these little things. I just thought to myself, I said, you know what? I think that we need to have a platform where we can speak to some of these issues, because some people do these things, they don't even know that it's not correct.
Exactly.
So, you know, so this was how it came about. So this was an idea I had. So I went to some place with Hannah sometime back, and then we asked this lady for a drink. You know, and she said, oh no, we don't have it. I mean, as soon as I said, do you have this? She said, no. But I thought to myself that you should have this because of this, you know. And then later on I said, okay, so is this place owned by so and so person? And she said, yes. And then I said, okay. And she said, what? You want, let me check for the drink.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so that was when she checked, and then so these are simple things, right? She came back and said, oh yes, we have it.
Can you imagine?
You know, and then let me shock you. Whilst we were sitting there, you know, chatting, you know, Hannah and myself, this lady was busy dancing. So there was, you know, music was playing, you know. This lady was dancing. She didn't even care whether there were customers or what have you. She danced for so long. We were sitting there waiting for another, you know, round of drinks. And then later on, I think she decided to take some steps. And she turned around and said, I was like, yes, ma'am. So, but, you know, so these are things that happens, and then people think it's normal.
Yeah.
And so that's why we created this platform, to be speaking to some of these issues. So for people to look at themselves as, oh, I am bigger than driving a taxi, or I'm bigger than selling, you know, food. No. It's a mindset thing. That's something we need to really work on. As you know, because we have been able to break even in a certain way. So we need to help people understand that as long as you have the passion, And sometimes it's not about money.
On Thursday, I was part of...
like Meta was saying, so most of what we did before we got to this point was self-funding. You see?
Because that's the way. You have to start. You have to convince me as an investor or a sponsor that you've put your blood in this. You know, I told a bunch of entrepreneurs yesterday, as an entrepreneur, you should have a PhD, not from MIT, not from Harvard, not from USL, but you should have a PhD in entrepreneurship. And you know what that means? You should be poor, hungry, and driven. Poverty here is very relative.
I like that.
Good one.
If you are not driven, you give up easily. And if you can't put your blood in what you're doing, and driven. If you can't put your blood in what you're doing, why would I invest? I wouldn't invest.
All right, guys.
And I'm interested in what she's doing because I see her blood is in it.
Interesting.
And in terms of social media, and for social media, like what he is saying, like if you have an idea, now we have social media, which is a tool that you can use to advertise your product. So most people are now using it. If you notice, in most of the WhatsApp groups, you see people sending videos of what they do, sending pictures, doing some small flyers, and they share it. So the moment they share it, other groups will normally forward it to other groups. So you see, it is an opportunity for someone to harness what you have.
All right. So in rounding up, guys.
And in rounding up, just before we go, I just want to say this. There's a guy called Vuzi Temekwayo that I follow on YouTube. Please, everybody, you need to follow that guy. His master classes in business and everything is perfect. What he said, somebody asked a question in one of his master classes, and then he said, have you heard of the University of YouTube? Another social media platform. It's a whole university. Anything you want to know is there. You want to learn about photography, it's there. You want to get this recipe for this, it's there.
You want to get your eyebrows done?
It's there. So use that university. You pass your exams.
All right, Meta, yes, your parting shot.
Great. With Carmel and Butcher is very, very grateful for this opportunity to be on Mamdi's Lounge. It's been a very interesting conversation. I've also learned a lot as well and taken a lot from this, which obviously will translate into what we do going forward. It's a fantastic platform. Well done, team. Hannah and Mamdi, you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
How you get the time to do this? Well, I don't know. I think we all tend to juggle, but like we said earlier, it's very, very important that we're so mindful of what we put out there and whom we get to associate with our brands. Because, like my fellow guest said as well, in terms of whatever it is that you're communicating to a global audience, you have to be very careful that your brand is associated through the right channels, or else you could definitely damage your personal brand and also your career if you're not careful.
Thank you. Ablai?
Well, for me, I want to say thanks also for inviting me.
Yet again.
This is my second time, and this is this is an important topic. So few tips for me. The first thing is I will advise that government set up a framework for social media. It is important, and institutions also we need to develop codes by which they operate in terms of how they market, how they communicate using social media platforms. And then thirdly, this is a personal advice. If you're watching this program, please ensure that what you post on social media is true. Do not use social media to spread rumors or false news that will derail the peace that we enjoy inside.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I think it's a pleasure being here. And if you're watching this program and you do not have access to internet, online deploy 55 hotspot across data.
Another invoice coming your way.
That's great. I just want to encourage the viewers. I want to encourage viewers to find a better way and an affordable way to access your content via your social media. So for me, three things, ladies and gentlemen. I think I've learned a lot from you, and I look forward to talking to you outside this program, so I could continue to kind of pirate your ideas. I love pirating ideas, yeah. So the best thing to do with social media, if you are an entrepreneur, try to identify your audience and then try to have a niche. Don't do everything. You can't do everything. Look out for one single thing, and then you try to do the best of that thing.
Quickly, the PhD thing. What is it again? I forgot.
It means you should be poor,
poverty. You should
poor, hungry, and driven.
That's it. So
I know all my colleague entrepreneurs out there. We all have PhDs. Let's brag about this PhD, and then let's go out there and try to make a change. And to you, Please, I encourage you all to see how we could create a platform like this and then support a platform like this so we can help raise awareness on how to use social media for better and output, not for negative sentiment. That's my final word to you. And
thank you so very much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you, Mieta, Sharif, Abdullah, in the lounge. It's been very interesting. I need not go over what you guys have said, but obviously I have learned quite a bit from this particular conversation, and we're happy to have you yet again in other editions. We'll call on you if need be.
I think this conversation needs to continue on a different level.
Yeah. All right. So until we come your way next time, it's been Mamdi's Lounge. My name is Mamdi Gubekama. Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Mamdi's Lounge.
Mamdi's Lounge Season 2 is here, and it keeps getting bigger and better. Our conversations are spicy with guests that give in-depth insights to every topic. It's Mamdi's Lounge, your one-stop shop for great conversations.
We know that when there are crises, women are usually the first responders. They come to the community, they help out.
The bride price is not looked at as placing a value on the woman. It's looked as a commitment.
So I think it is something we should look at. It is endemic in our society. And for us to address it, it's going to take a national call.
Every Thursday, 8 p.m. on AYV TV, Channel 33.